it sent a very powerful wake-up call to the United States. The United States has not worked out a thoughtful long-term strategy for dealing with China. And China, I think it'd be in the interest of the United States and China for a lot of thought to go into what should be the future of this relationship, because this is the most important relationship in the world. So I think the United States should learn to treat China with greater respect. As you know, one thing that I felt very sad about is that many leaders in the Trump administration were insulting China unnecessarily, completely unnecessarily. And even some of America's wisest top leaders like George Kennan, who was the man who formulated America's strategy against the Soviet Union, he said, never insult your adversary, because at the end of the day, you still got to work with your adversary. So I hope that RCEP will have a positive effect on the United States, because it will send a signal to the United States that what the countries in this region want is economic cooperation and not geopolitical competition. Well, in fact, many countries within RCEP are allies of the United States. You mentioned Japan, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, Thailand. But I think despite that, I think the East Asian countries, they all want to maintain good ties with the United States, but they also want to focus on economic growth and development. That's their priority. So if you take a country like Indonesia today, its primary challenge is poverty reduction. And if Indonesia wants to succeed in poverty reduction, it's got to open up and trade with the rest of the world. So RCEP, if it creates greater economic growth in the region, that'll be good for the Indonesian economy. So I think that's why I think none of these countries will be happy if the United States tries in any way to destabilize RCEP. I don't think the US will try to do so. Well, I think in private, he would like to go back to the Trans-Pacific Partnership. But sadly, in the American body politic today, there is a lot of opposition to free trade agreements. And so even if he wants to join the TPP, the US Congress will not support him. And so his hands are tied. I think many Americans are not aware that the world has changed a lot, And countries, certainly Asia is a very different place. So when as you know, Joe Biden is going to become the president of the United States in January, it would be a mistake for Joe Biden to think that because he was vice president from 2009 to 2016, he can go back to the policies of 2009, 2016. Because in the 4 years of the Trump administration, Asia has moved on and become a very different place. So RCEP is a good example of that. So it's very important for the United States to understand it's got to deal with the new reality of a much more confident world outside the United States that actually relies less on the United States to get things done.
大家好，我是老肖。今天这条影片呢，我想和大家一起来分享一下领带的不同风格还有打法。
民主党总统候选人拜登也获得了超过270张选举人票。
大家可以看到，我面前有很多的领带啊，不同的条纹、不同的颜色、不同的。
督工，新任务来了。
每年一次，终于来了。
那个今天不拍了。